mother.
Let's actually talk about Jayden Daniels real quick. So in a docu-series including his mother, she was asked what concerned her the most as Jayden prepared to go to the NFL. She replied, girls. She said, some girl out here, she's got a Jayden Daniels wall and her mama says, hey honey, you're gonna be the one to get him. And I know that sounds crazy, but I guarantee there's someone who's trying to get their hooks into Jayden Daniels. So thank God he got a mama like me because it ain't happening. Mike, after seeing that interview clip with his mom, what were your thoughts on what she had to say?
Mom said it's my baby. I'm protecting him, and y'all ain't getting our money. I understand what mom is saying. I have no issue with what mom is saying, because she wants to keep him focused. There's one thing to work so hard to get to this level. It's another thing to stay at this level with everything that's coming at you. And when you start playing at this level, the way he's playing, absolutely. Every one of those guys, every one of those girls in Washington about that little jersey, and she gonna see them waiting every time he walks by in that stadium. They gonna be waiting, skirt up, trying to catch him that dollar and make it holler. She just gotta get pictures. She's protecting him. She's protecting him, but he will get some opportunities.
Okay, Arabia, your thoughts on what Jayden Daniels' mom had to say?
Yeah, I mean, she's not wrong. Everything that she said is correct, and she's just trying to protect her baby, and I can respect that. I'm glad that he has somebody in his corner who's looking out for him, because there are females, as we all know, who are just looking for a bag, looking for a come up, and they will sink their teeth into this rookie if she's not careful. But what I will say is that this is not the first instance of her showing kind of like being a protective mom. We saw him courtside at the Wizards game, and she just looks out for him in these little moments, like telling him to put his phone down if the camera's right there, or actually getting her license to be a manager and be an agent. So she's really invested in him and his career and wants to be there for him as a guide. And I can appreciate her going out of her way to make sure that her baby's okay for the long run in this league, because people can get really, really derailed from excellent careers because of all the outside background noise.
Yeah, I like the mom injuries, man. Like even Lamar Jackson's mom when he was renegotiating his contract, and I love the moms that try to protect their son and stay on top of it. Well, if you catch that right blowjob, mom, ain't nothing you can do about it, nigga. I'm sorry, mom. Yeah, he catch that, and he young too. He might not have had his dick sucked good yet, pause, by the right female. Mom ain't gonna be in that room when that happen, man. And then when he starts sneaking off and sending Zelles and Cash Apps and all that, it ain't gonna be a lot because he gonna get a lot of money. Mom can't stop that blowjob from the right female. So I'm glad she looking out for him, but at the same time, we see a lot of athletes that go against their parents and say, listen, Mom, I like her. No disrespect, God bless the dad. God bless the dad. I know it sounds funny when I say shit, but I'm being honest with you. Kobe Bryant didn't speak to his parents no more, my man. You know what I'm saying? Like for his wife, and that ended up being his wife, and he had a beautiful family and everything else. But think about that. He absolutely stopped speaking to his family, and luckily it was the right female. He ended up having a beautiful family, but once you're grown, you're grown. And you can't stop a man from being a man. I was watching an Instagram video probably about 8-9 weeks ago, maybe in 3-4 months, and it was a big argument. And I'd like to know your opinion on this, Mike. And my mother's passed away right now, and I'm not sure if your mother's alive or not, but I want to get your opinion on this.
She's in heaven. Yeah, my mom's passed us.
My condolences. If your mom and your wife are arguing for the passenger seat, who's sitting in
it? That's a great question. And I was blessed that for some reason my mother and my wife were very close. Her mother and me were very close. Her mother used to put me back together and she knows she controlled my wife. So they were so close, you know. So it worked out well for me. I tell dudes all the time, let me tell you how to make this work with your wife. You make sure that you don't just bring her on, bring all her whole support system with you. I take care of my mom and the daughter and her sister. So when you mess up, and you will mess up, she's going to go to them and they'll tell her, go back there, that's a good boy, he just made a bad decision, and you'll be fine. You gotta make sure you support what she loves.
Yeah, so the thing is, buy the family off. That's what you're basically saying. So when you get caught cheating or fuck up, you already bought the whole family off. So it ain't no choice because she has nobody to go to because you already bought her family off. Is that what you're saying? Let me ask Arabia the same question. Arabia, you're married to somebody, and or hypothetically, and you've been married for 6 years. Y'all have a kid, something like that. And his mother wants to get in the front seat of you and your husband's car. Are you mad if your husband wants his mother to get in the front seat over you, and y'all been together over half a decade?
No, I'm just not petty. She can get in the front seat. I don't care about the front seat that bad to be mad about the front seat. I feel like a more accurate comparison is like if my husband and my dad, they're going back and forth about who gets the front seat.
Okay.
At that point, both y'all can get in the back seat, or y'all can't come. Like, you're not about to put me in the middle or nothing. So, yeah, no, I'm not playing with the front seat, back seat.
Yeah, see, that's why I love females that's not from New York. That shit would be a big problem in New York. It would be a whole fucking big ass problem. Girl will tell you suck my dick after all that, all type of shit. It'd be a big problem. Shook no. Shook looking at me like don't even ask me that question right now, nigga. I dig it, but I just was wondering. But at the end of the day, I really do support what these mothers are trying to do. And like I said, we've seen it in music as well. They call momagers in music. But I do respect she's trying to get her license to be an agent. Lamar Jackson's mother, any other mother that I'm not mentioning. I do really love that mothers are taking an intricate space in their child's career. But once they meet that right one, baby, it's gonna be hell in the house. It's gonna be some hell in there, boy. I tell you that right now. And another thing, last thing I'll say is this. I know that it's females out there that's looking specifically just to get at athletes. For his mother to say that, he may have a bitch problem. What you think? Why you may be liking the bitches too much? Because why would she say that? If he wasn't into the bitches like that, she wouldn't be scared about it.
I just feel like she also knows by seeing, like, I feel like as a mom, like, especially when you see your son, you know how good he's about to be, and that's when people just start flocking. She's just trying to cut all that now, because think about Jayden Daniels. He has no drama, no outside issues. You can solely focus on his craft and how he plays football, and that's how it should be, because there's no outside source affecting what he's got going on in his praise and what he's doing. So I support it. I don't know if I feel like he got a problem, because I do feel like she has him super locked in, and the article even came out that he had like the VR headset to like lock in with his plays and how he was doing stuff. So I think like that's the image that's being put out. That's probably the reality, and it should stick that way, because that only helps his legacy as he's starting off at such a young age and doing all the great things that he's doing.
I think the reason I even keep bringing up Lamar Jackson is because you don't hear no shit about him neither.
Right.
And his mother's very intricate in a part of his career. I remember a few weeks ago before the playoffs started, he was talking. He said, "Yeah, my mom said I missed some running plays I should have took off and scrambled for." And I'm like, mom is sitting there telling niggas stop waiting to take off. So that's how important she is in as far as his career, to where he's even mentioned her post game. So great point, Stan.
Okay, we're gonna go to break. When we return, we will talk about Sunday's game, the Chiefs versus the Bills. Don't go.
From the moment you clicked on this video, you probably knew we were about to unpack one of the wildest, most debated, and most meme-filled stories circulating across the NFL right now. And trust me, you won't believe how this entire conversation exploded once it centered on Jayden Daniels and his mother, Regina Jackson. If social media already had people picking sides, just wait until you hear how Harlem legend Cameron weighed in during his podcast. His reaction wasn't just funny, it was unforgettable, and at the same time, it raised questions that a lot of people weren't expecting. So stay with me because this story goes much deeper than the viral clips you've probably already seen. Before we get into all the drama though, let's break down exactly how this situation reached this point. Jayden Daniels is the quarterback for the Washington Commanders, and his rookie campaign quickly became one of the most impressive seasons we've seen from a young NFL player in years. He stepped into a franchise that had struggled for a long time, completely changed the energy, earned a Pro Bowl selection, captured Offensive Rookie of the Year honors, and gave Washington fans something they hadn't felt in ages: real hope. At just 24 years old, he's already viewed as a franchise cornerstone, the type of quarterback every organization dreams about building around. But with that kind of talent, fame, and financial success comes a level of attention that extends far beyond football. It's not only the media, endorsements, and fans watching every move, it's also plenty of women who recognize exactly how valuable a young superstar quarterback can be. And according to everything that's come out, no one understands that reality better than Jayden Daniels' mother, Regina Jackson. Now, Regina isn't the typical proud football parent cheering from the stands and leaving the business to someone else. Not even close. She's earned 2 master's degrees, successfully passed the NFL agent exam in 2024, and now serves as Jayden's business manager and certified agent through her own company, AIC Sports. That means this isn't simply a protective mother, this is someone with the education, experience, and strategy to safeguard every aspect of her son's career. She has made it crystal clear that she's determined to prevent anyone from taking advantage of him, and when she speaks, it's obvious she stands behind every word. The entire conversation really caught fire after a clip from Prime Video's documentary, The Money Game, began spreading all over the internet. The clip spread like wildfire, and once people saw it, there was no slowing the conversation down. For anyone who missed it, the series followed LSU athletes during the NIL era, giving fans a behind-the-scenes look at how college stars handled the business side of their name, image, and likeness opportunities. In one memorable moment, Regina Jackson was asked what worried her most as Jayden prepared to enter the NFL. She didn't pause, second-guess herself, or soften her answer for the cameras. She looked directly ahead and gave a response that instantly took over social media. Her answer was simple: girls. That was it. One word, no hesitation. And you won't believe how much debate that single answer created. Regina went on to explain that somewhere out there, she believed a young woman probably had a wall covered with pictures of Jayden Daniels while her grandmother was encouraging her to be the one who landed him. It sounded dramatic to some people, but Regina made it clear she truly believed there were people waiting for the chance to get close to her son. She even joked that Jayden was lucky to have a grandmother like her, because she wasn't about to let that happen. To his credit, Jayden couldn't hide his smile and laughed as he admitted that it sounded exactly like something she would say. Honestly, Jayden's reaction spoke volumes without him needing to explain anything. He knows his mother's personality better than anyone, and deep down, he probably understands why she's so protective now that his career has reached another level. As the story continued picking up steam, another moment sent the internet into overdrive during the 2025 NCAA Women's March Madness Tournament. Jayden Daniels attended a USC game at the Galen Center, where he watched the Trojans continue their tournament run. After the final buzzer, he was spotted courtside talking and laughing with USC star Juju Watkins, who had just put together an impressive 22-point performance. The conversation looked relaxed, the chemistry caught people's attention, and within minutes, social media users were already imagining a possible romance. The comments, memes, and fan theories started pouring in from every direction. Then came the moment nobody saw coming. Regina Jackson walked over and calmly took the seat directly between Jayden and Juju. She positioned herself right in the middle, like she was shutting the entire conversation down before it could go any further. In an instant, whatever interaction the two young stars had been enjoying came to a very noticeable stop. Predictably, the internet had something to say about all of it. Some viewers found the moment hilarious, others thought it showed a caring parent, while plenty of people believed Juju Watkins deserved better, and the debates just kept getting louder. A lot of people genuinely could not believe what they were watching unfold in real time. But no matter which side of the argument you landed on, one thing became impossible to ignore.
Regina Jackson is completely locked in on protecting her son. She is not treating this like a publicity stunt, and she is not changing her approach because cameras happen to be rolling. Regina truly believes that shielding Jayden from the wrong influences is part of her responsibility, and she seems perfectly willing to accept whatever criticism comes with that role. Then came her appearance on The Pivot, where she decided to address the backlash directly instead of avoiding it. During that conversation, she explained that the famous "girls" comment actually came from a question she had been asked 2 years ago, while Jayden was still playing at LSU. She emphasized that she absolutely wants her son to date, enjoy his life, and make his own choices as an adult. At the same time, she made it clear that her role as a protector is not disappearing simply because he reached the NFL. According to Regina, that mindset comes from real business experience and years of watching how success can attract the wrong people. She said Jayden understands the sports world because he has lived in it his entire life, but that does not automatically mean he understands every business trap that can come with fame and money. And because she serves as both his mother and her certified agent, she believes it is her duty to stand between him and anyone whose intentions are not genuine. One part of that interview really stood out to me because I think a lot of viewers overlooked it completely. Regina said, "I work too hard to allow anybody at any moment to just come in and take it all away." That statement was not only about Jayden's effort on the field, it was also about her own sacrifice behind the scenes. She invested years in raising him, continuing her education, and becoming qualified to protect his career from the business side of the industry. This is not a random parent trying to control a grown man for attention. It is a mother who rebuilt her professional life so she could be fully prepared to represent and protect her son at the highest level. You may disagree with how she handles certain moments, but it is hard to deny the commitment behind it. And honestly, all of
that background matters because it explains why Cam's reaction hit so hard when the topic finally reached "it is what it is." Once Cam and Mace started discussing the entire Jayden Daniels situation, the energy immediately shifted. If you have watched even a few minutes of that podcast, you already know Cam'ron has a talent for saying exactly what is on his mind, mixing it with Harlem humor, and somehow making people laugh while still making a serious point. That is exactly what happened here. Cam'ron, who has successfully turned his legendary hip-hop career into a second act as a sports commentator and podcast personality, looked at the entire situation and basically said the concern was understandable while still turning the conversation into pure entertainment. What made the segment even better was that Cam'ron had everyone laughing while still making a point that actually mattered. The way he mixed his signature Harlem humor with blunt honesty had Mace cracking up, and before long, the clips were all over social media. That's the thing about Cam'ron. He's lived through the highs and lows of the entertainment industry, and you won't believe how much experience he brings to conversations like this. He's watched fame attract all kinds of people, and he understands better than most that success can completely change the motives of those who suddenly want to be around you. That perspective gave his comments a different level of credibility. He wasn't simply making fun of Regina Jackson or turning the situation into a joke for views. Instead, he spoke like someone who genuinely understood why a parent would feel the need to stay alert. And whether people agreed with him or not, his reasoning came from real-life experience, not just internet opinions. Here's the reality that a lot of people avoid saying out loud, even though almost everyone in professional sports already knows it. When you're a 24-year-old NFL quarterback with money, fame, and a bright future, not every person who approaches you has honest intentions. Some relationships are completely genuine, while others are built around opportunity, and figuring out the difference isn't nearly as easy as people think. That's why having someone willing to be criticized, mocked, or turned into a meme just to protect your best interests can actually be a huge advantage. Cam'ron understood that immediately, and the way he delivered the message, with humor, confidence, and his unmistakable personality, made the entire discussion entertaining without taking away from the deeper point. That's exactly why the clip exploded across the internet, and why people kept sharing it long after the podcast ended. Think about it for a second. It's one thing to hear a traditional football analyst calmly explain that young athletes should be careful about who they trust, but it's a completely different experience when Cam'ron breaks down that same message in classic Harlem fashion, while Mace can barely stop laughing and the rest of the crew is trying to keep a straight face. That's the kind of unscripted chemistry you simply can't manufacture. It's authentic, it's entertaining, and honestly, that's what made the entire reaction feel so memorable.
Even more interesting, the conversation that followed ended up opening the door to a much bigger debate. What made this story even more interesting is that it sparked a much bigger discussion than people expected. A lot of the criticism aimed at Regina Jackson carried the same theme. Some called her overprotective, others said she was too involved, and plenty questioned whether a grown NFL quarterback should have his mother stepping into moments that looked personal. Many even argued that she was preventing Jayden from living the kind of normal life someone his age should enjoy. But if you really listen to what Cameron was saying beneath all the jokes, you won't believe how simple his point actually was. From his perspective, this wasn't strange behavior at all. It was the kind of protection many parents would probably provide if their child suddenly became
young, wealthy, famous, and surrounded by endless attention. Even former NFL superstar Cam Newton echoed a similar opinion, saying Regina wasn't doing anything unusual and that it's always better to prevent problems than regret ignoring warning signs later. Here's the question that almost nobody seems willing to ask. How many promising athletes have we watched over the years lose everything because the wrong people gained access to their lives? Time after time, we've seen talented young men rise from humble beginnings, reach incredible success, and then watch their careers unravel after trusting people whose intentions weren't genuine. It has happened across the NFL, the NBA, hip-hop, and countless other parts of the entertainment industry. Cameron has been around that world long enough to understand exactly how those stories unfold. That's why, underneath all the laughter, there was a serious message hiding in plain sight. He recognized a mother doing everything she could to keep her son from becoming another cautionary headline instead of another success story. Now, can Regina's approach seem a little over the top from the outside looking in? Absolutely. Sitting between your son and someone people immediately label as a potential romantic interest at a basketball game is definitely going to get people talking. Showing up as your son's +1 at a teammate's wedding is another move that's guaranteed to spark opinions across social media. But here's what makes the situation different. Regina has never hidden what she's doing or pretended to be someone she isn't. She openly explained on The Pivot that Jayden is free to date, make his own decisions, and live his life however he chooses. At the same time, she isn't changing who she is just because strangers disagree with her methods. She believes the right person for Jayden will understand where she's coming from and respect those boundaries. And perhaps the biggest clue in all of this is Jayden himself. He isn't online criticizing his mother or acting like he's trapped by her involvement. One thing that's hard to ignore is Jayden's own reaction throughout all of this. He isn't holding interviews asking people to stop talking about his mother, and he isn't posting complaints on social media about how involved she is. Instead, he's focused on playing elite football, winning games, expanding his brand, and allowing Regina to handle business the same way she always has. And honestly, if there were real tension behind the scenes, you would probably see signs of it by now. This is a 24-year-old franchise quarterback who also made the decision to sign with his mother's sports agency. That tells me he's not being forced into anything. He's actively choosing a plan that was created by someone who has understood him better than anyone else since day one. And that's exactly why Cameron's reaction ended up meaning so much beyond just the laughs. Sometimes it takes someone with credibility, real-life experience, and the ability to connect with people through humor to cut through all the online noise. That's exactly what Cam did. Beneath the jokes, the Harlem storytelling, and the entertainment, he delivered a message that many people completely overlooked. He wasn't painting Regina as the villain. If anything, he suggested she might be one of the biggest reasons Jayden has been able to stay focused while building one of the brightest young careers in the NFL. Behind almost every superstar is a support system working behind the scenes. And in Jayden's case, that support system includes a woman with 2 master's degrees, an NFL agent certification, and absolutely no interest in letting the wrong people jeopardize everything they've worked to build.
So the next time you see another viral clip of Regina stepping into a conversation, sitting beside her son when the internet thinks she shouldn't, or defending her perspective during an interview, it might be worth looking beyond the memes before rushing to judgment. At the end of the day, Jayden Daniels is healthy, focused, financially successful, and heading into another NFL season as one of the league's most exciting young quarterbacks. Regina has been standing beside him through every stage of that journey, making sure nothing distracts him from the bigger goal. Cameron recognized that. The podcast crew could laugh while still appreciating the point, and now you've heard the full story behind all the headlines. Sometimes the funniest moments end up revealing the biggest truths. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into NFL drama, viral moments, and the stories everyone is talking about, make sure you stick around because there's plenty more coming.